Straight ahead on 12 News, training for a disaster.
Oh, it's been very intense in that they throw a lot of information at us.
How Brooklyn Park is preparing volunteers for large-scale emergencies. Then, this week, unplugging the money drain. How a simple adjustment with your taxes could save you money. But first, as World Cup fever arrives, the popularity of soccer soars.
Youth soccer has become increasingly competitive in the state.
12 News starts right now. Hello, and thanks for joining us. In terms of popularity, soccer still trumps all sports on the world stage.
It's also growing in popularity in the Northwest Metro, and reporter Sonia Goins joins us now from the Clotted Irish Pub in Maple Grove, where they're gearing up for the World Cup. Sonia?
Hi, Mike and Alex. There's not much action going on right now, but that's going to all change tomorrow when soccer fans pack this place. You can see they have a large screen behind me where all fans can catch all the action. There are food and drink specials, but it won't just be adults that will be watching the game. Children will be watching it too. Soccer is huge in the Northwest Metro.
Let's do some speed dribbling. A couple here, two there and two there.
The Northwest Kickers is one of the oldest soccer programs in the state.
Okay, speed, go. We are actually the only club in Brooklyn Park, from Brooklyn Park. Check back out here. Check back in there.
They started in 1955 as a men's program.
Lots of touches, inside, outside.
It now has about 200 children in the Little Kids program.
I like moving my feet and getting active, and soccer does that for me. It's just fun to pick up a ball and just kind of knock it around with some friends, and games are fun to play.
Keep the ball moving, keep the ball moving.
Gordon Ferguson is from Scotland.
And just take a touch and hit it.
He's coached the Northwest Kickers Soccer Club for about 10 years.
It's livelier than some of the American sports. Woo! Oh!
He says enrollment has increased over the years.
When I arrived, it had somewhere 11, 12 teams, and now it's up to 25 teams. So over the time there, it's definitely got bigger.
Youth soccer has become increasingly competitive in the state.
The Plymouth Soccer Association is one of the largest in the state, and it's about to get bigger. Plymouth is merging with Wyzetta. There will be at least 3,000 kids in the program.
From a competitive team standpoint, which is like a travel league around the state through the state organization, MYSA, we will be the largest. Yeah.
We already share fields and facilities. We have a lot of families that have a player in each club, and it's just going to be great to be able to work together.
The World Cup has a lot to do with the soaring popularity of soccer.
Soccer is the world game, and a World Cup gives the kids the perspective, a lot like the Olympics would, for any sport that kids play.
And you can bet a lot of soccer kids will have their eyes on the World Cup.
I think Italy's gonna win.
FIFA said they have the best midfield out there, and their defense is pretty strong.
Brazil.
I've seen them play before, and I like their playing skills and how they pass.
Now, I think Italy's going to win too, but all the action gets started tomorrow at 3 o'clock when Brazil takes on Croatia. There's several local events too. We'll put that information on our website. Live in Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
All right, Sonia, thank you very much. An accident in Maple Grove could have been much worse than it was. Wednesday afternoon, a car accident slowed down traffic on 93rd Avenue near Xenium Lane. A minivan swerved off the road, went through a fence, and then tipped over a 4-foot embankment. Nobody was hurt, but authorities say it was going to be difficult removing that car from the backyard.
In a move that will save tens of thousands of dollars a year, Golden Valley will join Hennepin County's 911 dispatch service January 1st. Golden Valley has been paying other cities to dispatch its police and fire calls. That currently costs $140,000, but now the county board has approved an agreement that would add Golden Valley to the county's 911 service for free. There had been concern about the call center reaching capacity, but with a new 911 center being built in Plymouth, officials now say they can handle more calls. If a large-scale disaster were to occur, emergency personnel won't be the only ones responding.
It would require the help of volunteers like Joey Lash of Brooklyn Park. As Delane Cleveland explains, he and other volunteers are currently in training to respond at a moment's notice.
Those check-in points that as the event unfolds, Tuesday night at Brooklyn Park's Central Fire Station,
it's time for me to appoint a PIO.
a group of 20 people gathered for the opportunity to give back to the city in which they live.
It's a 6-week time period of every Tuesday night that we go through it. So a lot of information, and their expectations are high.
Joey Lash is one of the volunteers taking part in these classroom sessions.
You're going to be in a role of standing in the gap,
where they learn how to respond to the needs of Brooklyn Park residents in the case of a large-scale disaster.
Oh, it's been very intense in that they throw a lot of information at us.
But this session wasn't just about sitting in class and taking notes.
All right, our disaster has hit. You have just been paged to come to Central Fire to set up our Emergency Operations Center. Let's get it running.
These 20 volunteers were tasked with doing a full-scale simulation of how to activate an emergency operations center.
We're about to test that, see how well they learned it.
What Brooklyn Park Fire Chief Ken Prilliman hopes is that this exercise will provide the volunteers with enough experience
Make sure I've got 27 notebooks and sticky notes for each table
to free up sworn personnel to help residents in the community.
And the real advantage is until tonight, I would have had to devote sworn firefighters or law enforcement personnel to do that.
And these volunteers are happy to do their part.
I think we're ready to go, and I think, you know what, only time will tell, because when you get into the fire, that's when you really know what's expected of you. So.
In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
A public charter school is hoping to find a permanent home in Brooklyn Park. Noble Academy has leased different facilities in the area since it started in 2007. It's currently located in North Minneapolis. Now Noble Academy wants to build a school on land east of Jefferson Highway near St. Vincent de Paul Church. The site is approved for business and residential use, so the area would need to be rezoned for the school to be built.
The development plan of the overall site needs to change. There's some roadway configurations and shifting of some building sites around to make this happen.
It's unclear if the rezoning will happen. If it does, the school plans to be pre-kindergarten through 8th grade initially, but it could expand to high school.
Several new housing developments are moving forward in Plymouth. The City Council approved preliminary plans for 3 of them Tuesday night. Lennar Corporation plans to build 25 homes in a development called Brockton East. Meanwhile, Pulte Homes plans to put in 2 large developments, and one plan called Enclave on the Greenway consists of 128 single-family homes. Another, named Aspen Hollow, calls for 139 homes north of the Plymouth Gun Club. The area in northwest Plymouth has been attractive to developers because of the untapped terrain and Wayzata schools.
What do you love about your city? A new tourism campaign is going straight to the source, asking residents in Maple Grove, Brooklyn Park, and Brooklyn Center what's to love.
All you have to do is write about where your favorite spot in Minneapolis Northwest is, why you love it.
The Minneapolis Northwest Convention and Visitors Bureau wants to hear from you. Their new Locals Love It marketing campaign is underway, and they want to hear your story, why you love Maple Grove, Brooklyn Park, or Brooklyn Center. Keep an eye out for this suggestion box at this weekend's Tater Days Festival and throughout the summer at community events. Eventually, they'll take the comments and create a tourism campaign to promote the area and share ideas with visitors.
We're looking for everything: restaurants, secret areas, the unique hole-in-the-wall type of place, something that maybe you've discovered and not many people know about.
If you want to share your thoughts, you can go online to lovemnw.com. Up next, a closer look at tax withholding, how a simple adjustment could improve your financial picture.
Then later in sports, 3 local girls teams fall on the first day of the state lacrosse tournament.
But first, what's shaping up to be an active Father's Day weekend, at least weather-wise. Thunderstorms are likely. Welcome back. Saving money can be a tough thing to do. For millennials, it's proving even more difficult. The millennial generation is typically those between the ages of 22 to 33 years old. According to a Wells Fargo study, 4 in 10 say they felt overwhelmed by debt. More than half reported living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of the debt concerns were traced to outstanding student loans. If there's one silver lining from the study, the Great Recession taught millennials about the importance of saving for retirement retirement, though nearly half said they had not yet begun.
If you need more cash to stretch your income each month, financial experts say there could be an easy way to do it.
And spending that extra cash wisely can help you avoid debt. Reporter Shannon Slatton has more about discovering this extra cash in our special Money Savers series, Plugging the Money Drain.
It's not April, but today we're encouraging you to think about your taxes. Changing up some of your tax withholdings can change your cash flow, and some say even change your life.
When we got out of more than $50,000 in debt in 2.5 years, and we did it without getting a second job, people always say to me, what is the single biggest expense you cut? And my answer is, there isn't one.
Carrie Hasha has made a name for herself on pocketyourdollars.com for her money-saving tips. But before that, her family got out of debt, and they did it by adjusting withholdings for her family of 4.
We actually adjusted our tax withholdings because we had grown up with this, yes, $6,000 a year every spring. Well, guess what? That's $500 a month, and we realized we're putting money on our credit card because we can't get to the end of the month on our income, and yet we're getting this all back in one lump. So
that decision helped the Hashas readjust their budget.
It really did make a difference in our ability to transform our family's finances.
And still have the right amount paid in taxes.
IRS.gov is a great calculator. You can just put in a little bit of information about your family and your lifestyle, and it'll pop out what your deductions should be.
I would encourage people to potentially reduce the amount of withholding they have in their paycheck on a weekly basis, which will give them more money to do what they want with today.
The only caveat is if you get a bonus, which is taxed at a higher rate. You want to make allowances for that, but you can weigh your options on the IRS.gov's calculator. Brian Vinack says money in your budget means less spent on debt, more money saved, and less on loan.
Yeah, what I would challenge most people to consider is that they are basically giving the government an interest-free loan. You don't get interest when you get your tax refund each year.
If you do use the IRS.gov calculator, you need to have your pay stub and your last tax return handy, remembering the estimate can only be accurate if you provide accurate information. And Mike and Alex, when I went and asked these financial experts about common money leaks, this is the one that surprised me. I didn't see coming inaccurate tax withholdings. Remember that.
Yeah. Makes you think, that's right, want to check it yourself.
All right.
Thank you.
Coming up, here's a money saver, how you could win pizza for a year.
But first in sports, the Wayzata girls golf team shows why they are #1 on the links. John Jacobson is in next.
Day 1 of the state Class 3A girls golf tournament was a very good one for Wayzata. The Trojans carried a 13-shot lead into the second round. Action from day 2. Jillian Costin of Maple Grove, one of just a handful of local individual qualifiers for state. She shoots rounds of 85 and 88 and finishes in a tie for 45th place. Sarah Burnham of Wayzata teeing off on bunker's west course number 3. The Trojans holding that big lead in the team competition coming into today. Ellie Brandt of Wayzata on west number 9 finishes with a par putt. She shoots a second-day score of 77 to help the Trojans secure their lead. Jessica Nelson played a solid tournament, just missing on the birdie try here on number 7. She finished 10th overall in Class 3A with rounds of 80 and 76. Burnham, after a great tee shot on the par 3 8th, birdies the hole with that 5-footer and shoots rounds of 67 and 69. Burnham just missed repeating as state individual champion, finishing second to Kenzie Neisett of New Prague. But for the second time in her career, Wayzata is a team champion, winning by 19 shots over runner-up Alexandria.
It means the world, especially to be my senior year. I'm so excited that we are state champions, and I can say that for the second time I've been on the team, so it's very exciting.
Day 2 of the Class A girls tournament in Becker. Allison Deckard of Heritage Christian Academy saves par in Pebble Creek's white course number 4. She shoots an 84 today and finishes 6th overall in Class A. Her teammate, freshman Kira Smith, putting from the fringe, puts it within a foot and goes on to make par in red course number 7. Smith shoots rounds of 85 and 84 and finishes in a tie for 3rd place. Great showing for her. A local team and a few individuals are in the hunt in the Class 3A boys golf tournament. Watch the putt from Jack Holmgren of Wayzata in the first round of state play Tuesday. He nails the birdie on East number 2 at Bunker Hills. Holmgren and teammate Grant Raha shoot 72s and enter the second round tied for 5th, while the Trojans team is second. We'll have complete final round highlights Thursday at 4 here on 12 News. Champlin Park's girls lacrosse team qualified for state for a second straight season out of Section 7. Rebels, though, faced a tough opponent in Eden Prairie in the quarterfinals. Anna Johnson of the Eagles runs through the D, spots Jessica Lagerquist for the shot and goal, and a 2-0 Eden Prairie lead. Sammy Morton running down the middle passes to Heidi Colford alone in front. 7-0 Eden Prairie. Later in the first half, Clara McCartan with an aggressive run to the net gives it up to Sarah Woodring, who backs it out, then fires and scores. That one makes it 10-0. Champlin Park finally gets on the board late in the half. Delaney Everett scores here, but Eden Prairie goes on to win big, 21-6. The good news for the Maple Grove girls lacrosse team, they qualified for the state tournament for the first time. The bad news, they were matched up with 5-time state champion and top seed Blake in the state quarterfinals. And the Bears get on the board 2.5 minutes in. Alex Lovis to Adelaide Winton for the shot and goal. The Bears executing their offense flawlessly through much of the game. Olivia Nolan finishes off the pass from Lydia Sutton, and that goal makes it 6-0 Blake. Lovis picks up another assist as she finds Ann Slusser cutting to the net, and this goal makes it 10-0 Blake in the first half. The Crimson finally get on the board. Tippy Hills scores from the free position for Maple Grove's first ever state tournament goal. But 3 Blake players score at least 3 goals, including Slusser, as Blake advances to the semifinals with an 18-2 win. Here's the slate for Thursday at State Lacrosse. Armstrong plays Champlin Park and the girls' consolation at 1, followed by Maple Grove taking on Lakeville South at 3. Apple Valley Eden Prairie and Stillwater Blake are in the championship semis. On the boys' side, Champlin Park meets White Bear Lake in consolation play at 1 Thursday. In the championship semis, Wayzata plays Eden Prairie at 5. That's all going on down either Chanhassen or Chaska High School on Thursday.
All right, thanks, John. We'll be right back. Super Sleuths, get ready to go treasure hunting. Brooklyn Park is celebrating the 50th anniversary of Tater Days with its Golden Spud Hunt.
If you find mascot Spud McTator's Golden Spud, you win $300 and a pizza every month for a year from Broadway Pizza. So get ready. Here's clue number 1. Spud McTator reflected about when the city was itty-bitty and Baldwin Hartkopf was mayor. There were more potatoes than people, and Parkbrook was an early place of learning. That's the clue. The prize is located on public property. You don't have to dig or climb to find it. And when you win, call the city to claim the prize. And that is clue number 1. There are 7 more, 1 a week.
That's right.
We'll
Start thinking.
That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here at 4. Community Corner is coming up next.